What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Voice Lab. Today we are going to talk about how to not overcover as a baritone in the middle of the passaggio, if you believe in such a thing. The passaggio being the passage from the rich, full, middle lower voice to the high voice, that tricky road right there in the middle. So typically what will happen is one of two things. You are either going to overcover and sound like that through the middle, or you're going to spread, basically yell too much in an uncontrolled, unwieldy position. It's going to sound like, ah! It's going to splat. Somewhere in between those two, there is a satisfying, roaring, primal sound that is typical of the fuller baritone. That's what the people want to hear. They want to hear that, and they want to hear some bang and high notes, and then they want to hear rich color down in that lower middle and into the bottom. We love that. I love that because I've got that. So what we're going to look at today is a line from from This Nearly Was Mine, from South Pacific, where there's a spot that is ripe to fall into one of these two traps. It is this spot. And all the lovely adventures. Tried to do it there as neutral as I could. The text is, and all the lovely adventures. And ventures is on a D natural, right above middle C, which is squarely in the middle of the passaggio, and thus subject to all that risk. But also, to that reward. Gives you that satisfying roar sound that everybody wants, that the character wants to express, and that the audience wants to hear. And I imagine that Rodgers and Hammerstein had in mind when they heard Ezio Pinza, and they were like, this dude roars like a lion. What could we do that would rip that? When this guy is in his rock bottom. He has just lost the girl of his dreams, who nearly was his. All right. I played a meal long time ago. 'Twas nigh on 10 years ago in which I played a meal. What business a 23-year-old had playing a meal, besides the fact that we were doing it and I was one of the people in the program who had the voice for it? I don't know. Glad to play it. The recording is not that bad, but I have matured in voice and in mind and in body and spirit. I'm more of a man now. And a meal, still probably 10 years too young to play a meal if you had to cast it based on, well, as a 33-year-old really done all this? I guess I could have. You want a meal to be a little bit more seasoned. But vocally, we're ready. I was ready then, but we're really ready now. And you know what? I'll look back in 10 years and say, absolutely not. No way, dude. You were so far from ready. But I definitely feel ready now to at least inhabit that character. All right, so real quick, what we're going to do, we're going to warm up a little bit, slowly connect some things, going to help to make sure that, well, if nothing else, I'm able to reliably do what I want to do, good and bad, in this piece. But also, it's good to warm up. So, same things apply. Finding the appoggio, finding the lean, keeping the first and second notes, the intervals, connected. So it's not it's almost feels like going down, anchoring down. And remembering, even as we do that, I do that, please follow along, that the notes on the written page are going da da, whatever, they're going up. But we should imagine, or we might have a better time if we imagine them going as they are on a piano, horizontally. Not psych us out. But these aren't high notes. Nevertheless, all notes can be risky. Oh. Now, I started over there because I noticed that initial onset, in the first sound, I was pushing a little bit. Trying not to push. Here at the level of the folds. I can tell because I can feel this perfect seal that happens when I'm not pushing and I'm engaged, just breaks apart just a little bit. Lets in a little bit more air. Lets a little bit more air through than I would like. Started that one over because I could feel the vibrato start to get a little bit not perfect. I want it to be even, tight, reliable. Vibrato not perfect there, a little bit of stutter in there. But the first one, I noticed myself making a little bit more space in my mouth than I would like, or what that vowel for that place needs, for that pitch needs. So one of the things that I'm working on, in addition to overall just dropping my jaw a little bit more, which is going to be the secret to not overcovering, is not making a ton of space too soon. And instead just trusting and letting the lean do the work. Going to my teacher's favorite, La Luna, wherein we just focus on la, the articulation, that quick, crisp articulation, la, lu, and then find a good oo vowel that's ringing, or is it going right up here, right into the middle of the head, right in the middle of the dome. La, lu. And then all of the space that's necessary behind it, so it's not la, lu. Okay. And of course, getting the jaw down. Also, taking out any anterior pelvic tilt. We don't want that anyway, but that doesn't exactly know where it's going. I guess a little bit better. That one felt like it was in between the two. It's an area where I know how that used to feel, and I used to think that that was correct. Now I second guess one or two of these notes because I'm like, it just feels a little too closed. The sensation of close / turn too early. Let's see. See if it corrects going up, or is it more clear? Yeah, it's very clear. That's how it's supposed to feel. Let's go one or two more. Not connected. That was I like that because, to the best of my coordination and awareness, there was no happening in there. It was just wanted it to go. Oh. 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 Uh-uh. Oh. Did feel similar to the first. One more time. Let me see if I get less push in there. It was a little better. That felt more consistent in the resistance. All right. Diet Coke. Now, let's get the pitch for my boy Paulo in this concert, because I still don't have a piano. Oh, the lovely adventure. Elegante. All right, so I'm not going to pretend like I'm singing like I have a microphone. And ideally, I can back off and have that dynamic, that color with all these same techniques, these foundational principles in place. But for right now, I'm going to try to get it in there. AKA, I'm going to sing with the full voice. This doesn't mean sing as loud as possible. This just means let it go. Just let it rip. See what happens. Forgot. Let's give you the example of what I used to do. I don't think that this is what I did in the recording that I have from 10 years ago, but this is what I have found myself returning to, or what I have found my voice flipping into, no pun intended, and have been frustrated with. But then whenever I try to correct it, at least until recently, I will, pardon me, it's the bubbling. I will go to that splat, that yell, that uncontrolled place. That's not aesthetic. So, this is the and all the lovely. I would, even knowing that I was going to go to this incorrect place, I would want to get everything legato and ringing at least in the same spot. Could feel a couple things go. And all the lovely adventures that we have never known. All right. Now, the splatty one. And all the lovely adventures that we have never known. Now, how do we correct that? So the first one, all right, first and second. What I have found is that by simply lowering my jaw from or if I just go then I'm going to have all of the security and the accuracy of that covered tilted one, the containment of it, with all of the satisfyingness as performer, expressing this moment, being there, that I think that I want to feel, that I'm trying to get out, and it's going to sound the way that to the audience, it's going to sound the way that I think that it sounds when I splat, or that I want it to sound, which is still open and like roaring. To me, the most stereotypical, iconic roaring of a baritone is, let's see if I pull it up here, since we have fast internet, is Robert Merrill in the Tucker Gala singing the duet from Forza del Destino. All right, this is roaring. Here we go, the roaring. Bro, come on. It doesn't get any better than that. All right. So, with that in mind. On and on. And all the lovely adventures that we... Now, even there I could feel. I was excited I got there. A little bit of push, a little bit of blast at the fold level. One more. No push. And all the lovely adventures that we have never known. Now, it's so old habit for me to get up there and think about making space, too much space, too early. I suspect I may have done that there. My awareness was primarily in how much I was pushing, not pushing here. One more time, exactly like that. Let's build on that and take away any space that might be here. In other words, the space that I'm using for and all the lovely is going to say exactly the same. What I think I'm doing is going all the lovely adventure. So. And all the lovely adventures that we all the lovely adventures that we have never known. Ooh. Got to bring that down without having any little break. Well, I haven't actually recorded that back several times to listen to how each one sounds. So, throwing this up there. YOLO. Some guesswork. I don't know. You tell me, which one do you like?